Municipality of Bagamanok as one of the happy islands, we are the happiest community like this. And a variety of participatory and engaging activities. We are gathered as one to participate and talk as well. Togetherness, unity, and equality are always ensured, where smile can clearly be seen etched on the faces of the citizens, and how grateful they are for the endless happiness in learning. Through those positives, Bagamanok allows to take over the world with vivid smiles along with teamwork. Until there was COVID-19. Everything was interrupted and collapsed or changed very easily. All festivities, gatherings, and socializing came to a halt due to the threat of the pandemic as well as the laws that were enforced towards the order and safety of every citizen. So let's take a look at the effects of the pandemic on community sectors here in Bagamanok Town, and what are the steps or solutions that can help towards curbing the pandemic, towards conquering the world with bright smiles which can inspire and enlighten the lives of many. Life is not very easy in this difficult time, where difficulties, challenges, personal or mental and emotional problems can cause anxiety, depression, and stress that definitely affects us either physically, emotionally, spiritually, and socially. With the rapid rise of COVID-19 pandemic, we seem to be deprived of our own freedom as we continue to stay at home due to quarantines and lack of communication and solidarity that being promoted for our own benefit towards eradicating the contagious and deadly disease. In the midst of this pandemic, everything around us has changed. Environmental processes, functions, and goals seem to be disrupted and hindered towards growth and change. This sudden change due to health issues certainly has a tremendous impact within living things as well as on inanimate. Living things are people who have suffered from lack of social connection or social interaction or face-to-face learning, and other social activities or gatherings that are prohibited. While everything is changing from its original work, the coronavirus pandemic and the global response have dramatically changed the lifestyle of people in almost every part of the world. These major changes as well as associated changes and environmental impacts could change the dynamics of direct interaction between humans and nature that are more there about animal as new health infections. There may be different consequences or problems for both man and nature. Thus, the coronavirus is attacking negatively. Not only the health of the people is affected, but even the surroundings are also affected. With the continuing or rapid increase of the COVID-19 pandemic, its tragic consequences continue to grow and spread, especially here in our town, which is Bagamanok. Although Bagamanok is one of the community located on the Happy Island, we used to smile and fight in the midst of the trials we face because we are strong, brave, resilient, and wonderful people who are always ready to face and conquer the challenges of life. Now, let's find out or learn more about the different effects or impacts of this pandemic and what are the suggested ways as solutions and life lessons that they noticed or realized through this experience. Through interviews from various sectors of the community, we can gather information, assumptions, and solutions for this health problem toward well-being, change, and revitalization. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected educational system worldwide, leading to the closures of schools, services, universities, and colleges. Most government decided to temporarily close educational institutions in an attempt to reduce the spread of COVID-19. Due to the sudden changes, millions of learners are affected due to the school closures in response to the pandemic. Not just the learners, teachers, or educators also suffered difficulties and challenges coping up with the new normal. In general, having fewer educational options has globally impacted people with less money, while people with more money have found education because of new online programs that have paved way for education from schools to families and individuals, and consequently, people everywhere who relies on schools rather than computers and home life have had more difficulty accessing their education. Sudden educational changes totally had that negative effects, mostly the school closures in response to the pandemic that shed light on various social and economic issues, including student debt, digital learning, food insecurity, and homelessness, as well as access to childcare, healthcare, internet services, and etc. The impact was more severe for disadvantaged children and their families, carrying interrupted learning, nutrition, childcare problems, consequent economic cost to families who could not work. Now, let's hear out the opinion of one of our educator for more reliable information about the COVID-19's impact to educational system.
For me, the effect of COVID in education, I'd like to categorize them into two. First, to learners. They were deprived of their rights to learn the way they were supposed to learn, especially in math subject, which is the subject I am teaching. And this makes me feel guilty somehow of not being able to teach them the way I should. So the effect of this event is that there is absolutely lesser learning, although we were able to survive the last school year, but definitely the quality of learners that finished their grade level is not that good compared to teaching them the normal way. Second is to teachers. Our potentials as teachers were not maximized because of this pandemic. We are supposed to teach and not print modules. Although we were able to conduct some online classes, but imagine only 8% of the class can actually attend and access these online platforms. So I'm speaking for BRDHS. So what will happen to the remaining 92%? Well, just the same, they have to rely on the modules that we send them and then wait for our home visits, which is still quite dangerous up to this time. About life realization, I realized that we are all equal, rich or poor, we all can die because of this deadly virus. So let's be more careful to save our lives and the lives of our loved ones. Lastly, the possible solution for this health crisis, I think we just have to trust and obey our health experts. That's the best way we can help to solve this crisis. So let's all get vaccinated and pray for the best. Thank you.
The COVID-19 pandemic has certainly affected the government sector on various grounds. This usually has a short, medium, long-term impact on the development of the territorial and the functioning and finances of the subnational government. The regional and local impact of the COVID-19 crisis are quite diverse, with significant implications for crisis management and policy responses. Through the effects of pandemic, it hinders the transformation and development of a community towards a better future. Also, the COVID-19 generated a significant reductions in subnational government revenue, tax revenue, user charges and fees, and revenue from the various economic bases. Many developing countries are left with large negative financial balances due to the impact of coronavirus disease. So, to lift the government's economy, they work together to promote better change towards growth and development. Now, for more details, here is a related message from the Municipal Vice Mayor of Bagamanok Town.
Good day everyone. This interview will tackle all about the impact of COVID-19 pandemic to the government sector. So I have here our Municipal Vice Mayor. I have some questions for him that he would be answered with his own opinions or perspective. So question number 1 po is, what is the effect of COVID-19 pandemic to the government sector?
Napakalaki ng epekto ng pandemic dito sa government sector. Number 1, bagsak ang ekonomiya natin, bagsak ang health services natin, at ang pinakamahalaga, bagsak ang kabuhayan ng mga Pilipino.
Okay, so for next question is that what is the life realization that you've come up throughout this experience?
Dito ko naranasan na pag ang Diyos ang nagbigay ng pagkalikasan, ang nagbigay o namahala ang tao ay walang magagawa maliban na lang kung ang siyensya ay magkaroon ng talagang tunay na gamot para dito sa COVID-19.
Okay, lastly is what is the possible solution or that you could share for us in order for help to mitigate this health crisis?
Ang pinaka-solusyon dyan ay magkaroon ng disiplina ang bawat isa. Kung ano ang pinatutupad ng gobyerno ay dapat sundin. Huwag tayong masyadong matigas ang ulo. Kung kinakailangan ang vaccination, dapat magba-vaccination. Dahil siguro naman, ang Department of Health, pa yung World Health Organization, ay hindi naman gagawa ng mga gamot na mamatay ng sambayanan. Yan ang pinakamagalaga at dapat tayong magdisiplina ang kailangan para ang ating bayan ay makaahon sa COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes, that was really a great and informative message for all of us. So I was so grateful for having me here and good day again.
The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted religion in various ways, including the cancellation of the worship services of the various faiths and the closure of Sunday schools, as well as the cancellation of pilgrims, ceremonies, and festivals. Many churches, synagogues, mosques, and temples have offered worship through live stream amidst the pandemic. Now, let's hear out the opinion of our parish priest for more details about the COVID-19's impact to the religious sector. A wonderful morning to each and everyone, and also to you, Father.
Good morning.
Okay, for today's interview, I am going to ask him all about the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic to the religious sector as part of the community. For question number 1, what is the effect of COVID-19 pandemic to the religious sector?
Especially to us Catholics. It really affects the situation, the worship, especially during Mass, the Misa. During the time, before pandemic, a lot of people flock going to the church. Nagapunta sa simbahan, even here at St. Anthony, Padua Parish, almost ang simbahan na pupunta ng tao before the pandemic. But during pandemic, it really affects especially the spiritual life of the people here sa Pagkamano. Secluded, isang na pwede mag-attender. But naging siyang way ni Aben, yung tanganing mag-iwan ng way, tanganing mag-idara so Eucharist na even though they are not present physically, the Mass, but they are spiritually attending the Eucharist through media, Facebook, live broadcast, social media. Yung matutusunan din na positive effects ng church na sometimes napukulang ang church sa paggamit ng social media to evangelize people. Yeah, through that pandemic, nag-siyang positive, nag-giving way, tanganing mas lalong iba ng ibo, kaya ang maray na barata. Not only during at the Mass present, but also those people na nasa ibang bansa, nasa ibang lugar na hindi nakakatinda ng misa.
Yeah, it's able to attend the live stream. For question number 2, what is your life realization that you've encountered through this experience?
Personal realization. As a priest, it affects me a lot. To reflect the essence of life. So essentially, buhay na sa tao. During pandemic, a lot of people died. Adapon yung nagadan, tapos especially pag nagadan mo na di mo lang malamayan, ano mo yun, so pag COVID positive ka, you died as a positive, COVID positive, ilubong ka dyan. So, ano siyang yung chance na mahiling ka lang, more yung tao. Pero sa kuya, ikaw man siyang positive effect, nagkaiba ng time so mga tao na makaibahan ang family. Time with the family. Tangata. Though Though na close, di ba? Di sila nakapagsimba, nakapunta sa simbahan, di sila nakaluwas. Pero sa family ties, sa communion between the family, na-develop. Sa mga aking lantuagon, kapar hari sa harong, nakunting sinda sa baray na mag-igwas silang communication sa mother ninda, sa ama ninda, na before the pandemic, hindi ninda nagkikibo. Pero kung nagkaibang pandemya, nagkaibang silang communication, bonding sa family, na para sa ko, it is a positive effect. At sa mga akin niyan, ang naging problema sa mga akin, dahil more on paano maglantuag, magluwas, or social media, na mag-Facebook na lang, pero during that time, nakunting sila sa bahay. Ibig sabihin, nag-iba silang dahalo, naman mismo sa ama ninda, sa ina ninda. Yeah, closeness ni family, which is very essential. Kaya siguro sa kuya, yun pa sa positive effect ng pandemic. I don't know kung nahiling ito ni tao, ni family. Kami siguro kadaklan sa ito nahiling na positive effect. Siyempre, nag-influence sila ng ilaw, hindi nakalantuan. Pero dito sa positive effect, talaga kayo silang bonding sa pamilya.
Yes, tapos sa loob pa they had more chance to focus on their studies.
So, nakatapang. So, family, nahiling nila na. So, akin mismo nila, I don't know, magkadala lang. Pero maybe, in a way, nababantayan nila mismo.
Yes,
Aduman sila.
sila yung napuno, part ni
Yeah. Then, kumbagang family na puro trabaho sa ama, so ina, pero yung wala. Pero during that time, yung pandemic, naman sila. Ibig sabihin, namati iso, kang aki, so present ni ama, mula ina. Na very essential sa development ng aki, ang present ni ama, mula ina, sa silang development. Kaya ito ang positive effect ito. Taminsan baga, ang mga aki ka, nagalong sila ni presence ni mama, papa, na puro trabaho. Taminsan, gaparipod sa ama, gabina, pagal, makatulog na. Hindi nang makikipagdayalo sa aking interaction. Kaya during pandemic, is nag-inhale, exhale, nag-refresh. So, bonding family during that time. Yun ang para sa ko, positive effect ng pandemic na-realize ko personally.
Yeah, so the effect of COVID-19 pandemic is either negative and positive, which in negative it has caused various disruptions and varied problems or issues, but it is positive in some ways.
Commonly, the impact of COVID-19 pandemic to health has led to a dramatic loss of human life worldwide. It presents an unprecedented challenge to public health, food systems, and the world of work. The economic and social disruption caused by the pandemic is devastating. Tens of millions of people are at risk of falling into extreme poverty, while the number of undernourished people currently increasing. The pandemic has been affecting the entire food system and has laid bare its fragility. Border closures, trade restrictions, and farmers from accessing markets, including for buying inputs and selling their produce. In the COVID-19 crisis, food security, public health, and employment and labor issues, in particular workers' health and safety coverage. Adhering to workplace safety and health practices and ensuring access to decent work and protection of labor rights in all industries will be crucial in addressing the human dimension of the crisis. Immediate and forceful action to save lives and livelihoods should include extending social protection towards universal health coverage and income support for those most affected. This include workers in the formal economy and in poorly protected and low-paid jobs, including youth, older workers, and migrants. Now, it is the time for global solidarity and support, especially with the most vulnerable in our societies, particularly in the emerging and developing world. Only together can we overcome the intertwined health and social and economic impacts of the pandemic and prevent its escalation into a protracted humanitarian and food security catastrophe, with a potential loss of already achieved development gains. Now, let's hear out the opinion of one of our health worker for more details about the COVID-19's impact to health sector.
So good morning everyone, including to you, I'm Ma'am Denden. So for today's interview, we'll focus on the effects of COVID-19 pandemic to the health sector as part of the community. So I have here questions for her to be answered regarding the effects or the impacts of COVID-19. So now for question number 1 is that, Ate, what is the effects of COVID-19 to the health sector?
On my opinion, kung sa health sector, sobrang dakuro ang impact ng pandemic nito. Kasi sa sobrang grabe ng cases nato, lalo nito na yung last month, sobrang taas talaga ng cases natin. Yung mga tao, imbis na magapa-check up sila, may na sila gapa-check up, gahurat na lang sila na, maging sadiling pagburong na lang sila, sadiling na silang magburong, may na sila mapa-check up. Tapos yung ibang COVID cases nato kasi, baging gahurat na lang sila na kung maglala, saka lang sila mapa-check up. Yun ang sobrang impact. Tapos sobrang hirap sa amo kasi sa sobrang grabe ng program nato sa health mo ko lang naman na sa COVID, apektado na yung ibang program sa dapat na di-deliver pa namo sa tao. Kasi yung imbis na darog yung dati, nakaikot kami kada baray-baray para makuha namo yung mga health concerns nila, yung ilang health problems. Symptom, na namin nagigibo kasi i-reach nato na makabakuna kita ng grabing tao.
Yes, more on focus na lang sa COVID-19.
Opo.
Next question is that what is the life realizations you've encountered within this experience?
Sa ako, na-realize ko lang na syempre, maski pa mayaman ka, pag talagang tinamaan kita ng COVID, kung may kita masunod sa minimum health standard protocol, lalo yung pag-asurot ng mask, maski mayaman kita, pag tinamaan kita ng variant na makusog, tas may kinaya ng ginawa nato, lalo sa may mga comorbid, talagang maski mayaman ka, may ka makaligtas. Sana yung sa mga tao, saka mag-ipon, yun ang pinaka-importante talaga. Kasi nito, buko lang naman ang health ang apektado, pati pagbuhay ng tao, sobrang apektado.
Yes, and every aspect of our life, we are all affected in this experience or in this pandemic. So lastly is that, what is the possible solutions that you would adhere or share to us in order to help mitigate this crisis?
Para sa ako, as a health worker, ang pinaka-solution talaga nitong panahon is magpabakuna po kita. Although, vaccination is not kasiguraduhan na may kita magka-COVID, at least may kita maabot dun sa severe case. Although magka-COVID man kita, kaya tang burungon sa baray lang. Sa kami pa kita magagastusan ng saray. Kasi ang bakuna, dakuro talagang tabang sa ato.
Yes, okay, thank you so much, Ate Denden, for that very informative and reliable message to all of us.
In conclusion, the COVID-19 pandemic has really had effects on various sectors of the community, as if we are constantly being pulled down so as not to recover from the collapse. But, as a Katandunganon, we are brave and resilient enough to conquer and face the challenges of the times. No matter how difficult it is to face the enemy which is unseen, we stand, work together, and unite to defeat or achieve a specific goal. This pandemic is actually disrupting our lives in a variety of grounds. But what I realize is people are smart and driven with purpose. In the fight against this deadly and contagious disease, we can overcome it through wisdom, skill, and strategy that help create or develop a weapon that can reduce or eliminate this health issue. People are driven with purpose. Each of us certainly has such a role or part, duty, and essence towards the curing of this health problem. Whatever state of life you have, as long as you have that meaningful roles and responsibilities that can contribute to progress and change for the betterment of all. For possible solutions in order for us to defeat this disease, all we need to do is come together and be one that follows the laws or protocols launched for safety, such as wearing a face mask, social distancing, washing of hands, and so on. Also, to reduce and prevent infection, don't forget to get vaccinated. So, be one of us and get vaccinated. By doing this, we can reduce the growth or spread of this disease. However, being a well-disciplined and responsible citizen is the best remedy to defeat ignorance and apathy.